when we're speaking about Zapad exercise, we have to distinct two types of exercises. The first one is the so-called joint strategic exercise conducted by the Belarusian and Russian armed forces together, primarily on the territory of the Republic of Belarus. And the second type of the exercise is so-called strategic command and staff maneuvers conducted by the Russian armed force solely and primarily on the territory of the Russian Federation. That is why the figures of engaged forces are so different. In case of Belarus, it is not more than 12,500 troops from Belarusian and Russian armies. And in case of strategic maneuvers, it is up to 200,000 troops. So in my assessments, I will be covering the joint strategic exercise that was conducted on the territory of Belarus. So when it comes to this scenario, I would say it reflects mostly the propaganda narratives with the help of which the Belarusian authorities described the political crisis developments in September, October last year. I would like to remind you that the Belarusian leadership was accusing Poland, Lithuania, and also Ukraine in attempting to launch a regime change, waging a hybrid war against Belarus. And when it comes to Poland, even to annex the western part of Belarus, the Grodno region. So this scenario reflects the same narratives. So the conflict begins from an attempt of the coalition of the Western states, probably Poland, Lithuania, and the United States, and some terrorist organizations. So maybe it is a reference to Ukraine. To launch a regime change in Belarus, but they fail. And after an ultimatum that envisaged resignation of the Belarusian leadership, they start launching conventional warfare against Belarus. It means that the Belarusian and Russian sides automatically activate the joint plan of using the regional group of forces. So the first Guards Tank Army comes to Belarus to support the Belarusian armed forces, as well as the unified regional air defense system operates, covering the deployment of the regional group of forces, so preventing air strikes, missile strikes conducted by the coalition of Western states. So the conflict escalates from the hybrid to the conventional ones. But what is the main difference comparing to the previous Zapad in 2017, according to my assessments, that the Belarusian and Russian military strategists have been trying to implement a new concept how to fight the so-called multi-domain operations conducted by the Western adversaries. And especially that is why they paid a lot of attention to the highly mobile tactical formations that were enforced with army aviation, with the help of the air defense systems, and the main focus was paid to the combating different illegal armed groups and sabotage reconnaissance formations, represented by the special operation forces of the adversaries, but also by a new type of highly mobile tactical formations, according to the so-called multi-domain battle requirements. And we could find at least some characteristics of such formations, even when you look at the statements of the Belarusian Ministry of Defense describing the main elements and combat techniques practiced during the exercise. So the Belarusian and Russian forces were combating this new type of formations, represented by the highly mobile land tactical units, supported by the special operation forces, but also equipped with the precise missile systems, with mobile air defense, with very developed electronic warfare capabilities, but of course with a very deep and developed reconnaissance capabilities as well. And from this perspective, I would say the exercise looked not like a strategic one, but rather a tactical operative one. And this assessment could also be confirmed by the fact that the Belarusian and Russian sides were actively using the tactical and operative tactical airborne landings during Zapad. And so according to the Russian and Belarusian military strategists, so this type of landings actually illustrates some modern characteristics of the conflicts today. So they are planning to use them in a very active manner in order to tackle the threats and challenges generated by the multi-domain battle concept, but also they reflect how to tackle the threats and challenges coming from the hybrid conflicts of different type. So my main observation that the armies of the both countries tried to reflect on how to deal with the hybrid warfare, but also with the multi-domain operations conducted by the Western adversaries here in the region. But also the one more important observation, the main developments actually took place during the strategic command and staff maneuvers on the territory of the Russian Federation, and we need also to emphasize that they will end only by the end of October, beginning of November, with the strategic missile forces exercise. So we still need to follow these developments. What we need to follow in Belarus, except Zapad, also the deployment of the Joint Combat and Training Center, of the Belarusian and Russian air force and air defense. And it seems that Russia has left at least one wing of Su-30SM fighter jets deployed in Baranovichi, but also at least one battery of S-400 air defense system deployed in Grodno, close to the Polish border. And the second important topic is the fate of two Russian military technical facilities rented by Moscow, because the lease agreement expired already last year, and the Belarus and Russian sides now are talking about the future of this agreement. And it seems that there are some contradictions, since it takes too long time to reach the agreement. So probably it is the first time when the Zapad exercise itself is not so important than the context, political, military, and geopolitical one.